Relational databases. I'm going to make one right here. I'm going to right click and make a new access database just to cover what it looks like. It's the same in MySQL or any other database application. This one's going to be called Students. Access database. Dive into it. And first thing I'm going to do is create a table, and I'm going to call it TBL Students. I use TBL just to clarify. Sometimes it can be unclear whether you're working with a table or with a query. I've got a primary key, which is an ID, which is auto number. Let's stick with that. I'm also going to have a last name field and a first name field. No spaces is good. I'm going to have a gender, and I'm going to have a date of birth, and I'm going to make my date of birth equal to a date time. I'm going to make my gender have only one character. It's going to be M or F. So that's my table students, and I can put people into it. So I can put in last name Dragons, Bilbo, there's gender M, and date of birth or yesterday. And maybe if I put another student in here as well, how about Mercy, Lionel, also male, also born yesterday. So that's one table done. Let's close that off. I'm now also going to import some data. I'm going to go to, I happen to have a file. Wonder where it is. I'll put it, actually I think it was in here. Dang it. Here it is. And I'm going to import source data into a new table in the current database. Yep, first row contains column headings. I'm actually just going to hit finish. I'm pretty sure that everything is all good with that. So sheet 1, no, F2 TBL standards. Let's have a look at it. It's a bit annoying. I've got this auto number ID, which it automatically creates. Unfortunately, I already had a standard ID in there. I'm going to dump that. So I'm going to go into design view and just delete that. Yep. So credits is numeric, everything else is short text. In the real database, you probably need to put a bit more effort into making sure these fields are well defined, and you might put comments in, but this is good enough. Okay, so I've got standards and students. Now what I want to do is have students do assessments. So an assessment means a student is matched up with a standard. So I'm actually going to make a new table for that. So create table, and this one is going to be TBL assessments. And what it's going to have is a student, and it's going to have a standard. Yep. And it's going to have useful other things like maybe the date that it was sat on and the result or whatever. So let's just check that we got these fields correct. So the result short text is good. Date sat on, that's going to be a date time field. The student ID, that is going to match up with this ID here, which is numeric. So if we just go back to this, where was I? Assessments. I think I'll stuff that up. Just go into design view on that. Yeah, student ID needs to be a number, and same way student standard ID also needs to be a number because it matches up with a number. Now bearing in mind, in the other tables, student ID, the ID field is an auto number, so it's automatically incrementing each time we add a new student. This is not an auto number because this is going to contain whichever number refers to whichever student at that time. Same with the standards. So let's put some data into this. So I'm going to say student ID, student number ID 1 was Bilbo Baggins, and the standard ID, let's pick a standard for him to do. Let's scroll through fairly randomly. He's going to do this music standard 91094 standard. Where are we here? 91094, 91094, and datasat, did it today, and the result, give them an excellence. So that's one student who has done a particular standard. Oh, hang about, no, standards ID at 91094, I need to use this number, don't I? 218. That's instructive, 218, because that's the unique identifier in that other field. That's the primary key in the standards table. Let's get this same student to do a different one. So student ID 1 again, and let's pick another standard. How about Earth and Space Science? This level 2 standard, number 261. I keep losing myself, 261, and again I can choose a date for him to do that, and I can give him an excellence for that. And then maybe the other guy, Lionel Messi, he is student number 2, and he could also do the music standard 218, and we could maybe he did that one yesterday, and maybe he just got achieved for it. So you can see how I'm recording in this table the student and the standard, and any student can do as many standards as they need to, and any standard can be done by as many students as necessary as well. So having done that, I'm going to close all of these. I'm going to set up the relationship between the tables under Database Tools Relationships. I'm going to add in all 3 of these. Did I miss one? Yeah, I did. Good. And I am going to drag the assessments table is going to have student ID, so that's that one being linked to there. Tick, tick, tick makes it a one-to-many relationship, and same here, the standard ID I'm going to link to the ID in this table, so I'm always linking to the primary key. These are foreign keys, this is one primary key. Tick, 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 create. So show my one-to-many relationships in there. So I'll save that and close it. Close and save it. And the last thing is I want to create a query that pulls together all of that data. So in query design, I'm again going to include those same 3 tables, and I'm going to have the student's name, last name, first name. I'm going to have the standard number and title, and I'm also going to have the date sat and result. And if I look at that in this view, I can see that Bilbo Baggins did this standard on this date and got an excellence grade. So that's what the query is for, is to pull together all of that data into one place. So let's just save that. Query assessments, yep, students standards. That was the whole lesson today. Hope that's useful.